out of me. The mosque itself, once I was inside, it was a peaceful place, but just to think about this incredible contradiction, that these people, obviously their faith is so important to them, and yet there is this conflict over this place of worship. So after leaving Hebron, we went back to Bethlehem and we went into Aida refugee camp. And this camp is on the other side of Bethlehem from Dehieshe, where we are. And you can see this camp is the segregation wall, which segregates Israel and Jerusalem area from the West Bank area. And this is my first time really seeing the extent of this segregation wall. As you walk in, you're just overcome with the size of this wall. Everything you can see is this concrete and graffiti. And the graffiti itself is so powerful. There's quotes from Gandhi, and there's one quote that I saw is really stuck with me. It just says, "This is the wall at which to weep." And of course it's drawing the parallels with the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, only 5 minutes away, which is a place of such sacred significance, and yet they've built this enormous wall, which is a place of such oppression. And I don't know if I can say I like, but I'm moved by the paradox of that quote. It really hit me, because it brought it back to the the contradiction of sometimes our religion, and reminds us that it's all about people. And certainly what I experienced there in Aida camp, it is something that we should be weeping over. The children that I saw there, just wandering the streets, and it broke my heart to think that this is what they see every day. There's these gigantic concrete walls that surround them, and barbed wire and graffiti. It is just not right. It's just not the way that children are supposed to be growing up. And it makes me angry, and it makes me really sad, because I believe that if we all really found in ourselves that place where we can see that these are our brothers and our sisters, that together we could do something to stop this. And yet it seems to be the other way around. It seems to be that there is so much power going into the cause of this, and the systems of oppression that are bringing this about. We actually got to climb up to the top of one of the apartments in the camp and just look out over the surrounding city and see the walls. As far as the eye can see, there is this wall, and just on the other side of the wall, like only 30 meters in front of us, there's this beautiful olive grove and vineyard and farmland. And Louis was telling us that this little farmhouse that's in the middle of that farm we could see, he said it was a family lives there, and their children used to just walk straight across into the camp for school, and it was only a 5-minute walk. And when the wall went up, and because of the distance of this wall, they had to actually get 2 taxis and 2 buses and another taxi, and it took 2 hours and 45 minutes for these children to come to the same school that they could walk in less than 5 minutes if this wall was not there. And that just makes me realize that, this conflict affects everyone in the very essence of their lives. The father couldn't continue to pay for this transport for these children, so they end up having to walk, and they get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to walk to this school. And there's just countless stories like this that I heard today. It's just tragic, and it's really rocked my world. It's really moved me in a way that I think that I can't go back to life in the way that I think I used to indulge in so many things that are really not necessary. And I'm not talking about not doing things that are enjoyable, or I love being in the outdoors. I mean, that doesn't cost anything. It's just that I realize that to really hold these people in my heart, even when I'm not literally in this country, to be in solidarity with these people, and the children in India and Africa and all these other places that I've been, that I don't want to switch off from them. I want to continue living in solidarity with them no matter where I am. And to do that, I can't indulge in certain things. I was thinking about this conference that I'm going to here in Bethlehem in a couple of weeks, and today I saw the accommodation. I saw that this 5-star hotel that is, the nominated accommodation for this conference, and it's literally on the edge of this camp, and across the road from this 5-star hotel is a separation wall. And I felt really glad and relieved that I already knew that I couldn't stay at that place. That for me it was a contradiction, to go to a conference and be learning about how my faith relates to this conflict, and how I should be responding, and what it means to build peace and justice in this place. I can't be staying in a 5-star hotel. And it's just simple things like that I think are the important transformations in an experience like this. And it's part of what I really want to open up for young people, is to come to these places and to be transformed. Not so, you carry some guilt around with you for the rest of your life, but rather that you carry a love for these people that determines your decisions. And I don't see that as a burden. It certainly brings about changes, but I see that as bringing peace, because once you know certain things, you've seen them with your own eyes, you've experienced it with your own emotions in your heart, there's no peace in switching off from that. And I think it's a privilege to build your life on these experiences, and I've learned a lot about that today, and I hope that I can really build this into the program that I'm developing for young adults, so that by being authentic with our lives, that we can make really deep connections and bring about deep change.